and that's like overall that what I was so excited about us going to Comic-Con this weekend is that like I don't think there's anything like this. Like I don't think there's very many things in the world that you can compare this to, like a geek convention and the biggest one in the world. You know,
right?
Like I feel like that's an experience and something that's going to be really really cool to see. You know?
Yeah.
This is Geek Off The Street, your go-to channel for all things from obscure geekdom to modern-day pop culture and everything else in between.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hey, we're back.
We is.
Yeah.
We are?
We are.
That it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Might be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on because it is blazing hot in here.
Man, listen. We are putting in the work for this show and for all of you.
Yeah, as much as everyone talks about how amazing Southern California is, it gets hot as hell in the summertime.
Yeah, this is the exchange. This is the exchange.
101 degrees today, I think, and it was pretty crazy.
And it's dropped to 100 in this studio.
Yeah, it gets hot. Whatever the weather is, it's hotter in the studio. That's for sure.
So oh, Lord Almighty.
We are struggling, but my name's Trent.
And my name is Mark.
And this is
Geek Off The Street.
Greatest podcast of all time. Talk about geek culture, pop culture, and whatever else you want. This week is not an exception.
Right.
And actually, definitely most in line with what this whole show is about.
Yeah.
This week we're talking about, sort of a documentary.
It is, yes.
Yeah. The comic is called Comic-Con Episode 4 of Fan Soap by Morgan Spurlock. He did the Super Size Me. Famous for that.
Came out in 2011.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, and it's basically about Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, which is the Comic-Con.
Right. The event. Yeah. That is the media event.
Yeah, for people like us.
Right.
Yeah.
True that.
And the documentary is about that. We just kind of want to talk a little bit about that because exciting news.
Yeah, big time. The following week, that's going to be coming up, Comic-Con is going to be happening soon, and your boys, we're going to be there covering it. We're going to be working in conjunction with the Geek Speak show.
Yep, with Henry.
Thank you, Henry, for making that happen. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Exactly.
It's all good. So, we're going to be going there, covering it, getting some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, we're going there as press.
Yes, we're going there as press.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. We'll be covering for probably a couple of days at least. We'll get some stuff, but we're so excited, looking forward to going down there.
Because I've never been,
nor have I.
So
been to plenty of conventions,
right? Yeah, and as a geek for as long as I have been, this is kind of a shock for people to hear that I haven't been.
Right.
Living in Southern California my entire life, or most of my life,
right?
You know, how have I not gone?
Yeah.
So,
and most of you probably know too, if you've tried to go, you know how bad it is trying to get into Comic-Con sometimes.
Especially now, for sure.
Yeah, especially at this point in time. Yeah, if you don't have your ticket, you got to like buy the ticket like almost a year in advance.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Mind your own business.
So we're really excited for that. It's gonna be a big deal, and we can't wait to get into that. But we're gonna talk a little bit about this documentary and a little bit about Comic-Con in general, I think, and what that means for people, for geek world and regular world now, like for pop culture now.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot.
Before we get into that, briefly, how are we doing this week and what are we drinking?
Yes, well, we are drinking, what'd you say it was called? Electric lemonade?
Electric iced tea.
Electric iced tea.
Take
Electric
on
iced
tea.
Long Island?
Long Island iced tea, yeah. It's got pretty much every type of alcohol you can think of.
Right.
Yeah, gin, tequila, vodka, and blue curacao.
Yeah. Rum.
Yeah, a little bit of rum.
Everything.
Sweet, sour, and some Sprite. It's really
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very refreshing. We need this right now. You think I was kidding about that 100 degrees?
Yeah, no, it's really hot in here, but that is a refreshing drink.
Right.
Every once in a while, he makes a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's
is a spot right now.
Yeah, there'll be the short will come out. You can see how to make it for yourself.
Yes.
And you drink along.
Highly recommend it.
Exactly.
Highly recommend it.
But how we're doing this week? I worked a lot. I had to work today. That's why we're recording on a day we don't usually record on.
True that.
And I do not like my job, as I've said every single time. But this week was like, I feel like the straw go with the camel's back because of stuff going on at work.
Right.
So I finally, I've been saying it for a long time, but I finally started putting in some applications to some other places or looking for other ideas for career, like they're not career, but day job stuff.
Sure.
A better day job.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't have me in the sun all day. Something that doesn't have me, not a good working situation. Yeah.
And not being appreciated at the job, or where the job's going to take advantage of you.
Exactly. That's the other big one too. Yeah. Like, you notice that after a while. Like, am I a hard worker, or am I getting taken advantage of?
Right.
And like now it's like
and if you're a hard worker, it seems like they want to take advantage of you even more. So
exactly. So that's been kind of a thing I've been thinking about this week a lot. So I put in a bunch of applications, really kind of figuring out where I want to go next.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of exciting.
Very good.
Otherwise, yeah. How about you?
Very good. I had a terrible week. A terrible week.
Yeah.
It started off great on Sunday. So essentially a week ago from today, I went out with my friends, and we went to a kind of a pop-up that was happening out in LA. It was called Netflix Bites. Right.
Okay.
So yeah, it was out in LA. It was at part of a hotel kind of thing, but the food was fantastic. They just served. It was kind of like a tapas style, kind of thing where you order a bunch of stuff and you share it and all that. But it was it wasn't, surprisingly, it wasn't crazy expensive. Some of the items were a little pricey, but a lot of them I think probably were somewhere around the $20.
Oh, okay.
Give or take. Or take. Some were, more or less.
It's not outrageous, but
yeah. They had this cool thing with dessert where, because they have these TV shows where like it's not called Can You Make That, but they have a cake or something that you have to try to make, and these amateurs try to make it.
Okay.
And it always looks like garbage. It looks horrible. So they actually had a dessert like that you could order.
Yeah.
And they bring you all the pieces with it.
Really?
And they say, this is what it's supposed to look like. And it's like a clown or something like that. So they bring you over like some cotton candy, straw, some cake and blah, blah, blah. And you put it together and you make it look like the show or whatever. We did it. So it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But the food was great. Food was fantastic. We were basically, kind of eating in their little patio area, so we're kind of eating outside. So it was really just a great day. After that, or I should say before that, I guess they're having an auction. I can't remember the guy's name, but he has the biggest collection of Disney memorabilia.
Okay.
So they had a lot of the products that he's going to be auctioning off. They had them where you can go and take a look at them, see what's going to be auctioned off.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff, like a Peter Pan ride, a lot of just paperwork, costumes, the uniforms from back in the 50s, just all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
None of that was for sale right then and there, but you could go to the auction if you wanted to.
Okay.
And then later that day, we went to this cookie shop that apparently is only on the East Coast. You said to do this quick, hon. I'm taking I'm telling the longest story in the world.
Yeah, no, I saw the picture that was posted, and I was like, I want to try it, please.
Yeah. It was, the Levain's. Levain was the cookie shop.
And it was good?
So, it's only on the East Coast. Yeah, they're out here. Fantastic.
Really?
They're even better the day after kind of thing. I think out of the oven, I'm sure it's fantastic. Yeah. But once the flavors kind of settle, it tastes even better.
Really?
It tastes even better. Yeah, I tried to save one. I tried to save one for my sister who's out of town right now. I was going to share with some people. Maybe I was going to share.
Oh.
It didn't happen, though, unfortunately.
At least you thought about it.
I did, and I ate the hell out of all of them. So maybe one day when I'm back out there, I'll bring some more.
Nah.
And if there's time. If I see you the next day, you got a shot. You got a shot.
Gotcha.
But so that was the good part.
Okay.
That, the week started off great.
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
So then we are getting together. We're having a, team meeting, group meeting. We're meeting with RJ. RJ is still alive, guys. RJ is still part of the crew, still part of the mix. So my car was parked across the street at his house. His lovely wife comes in a little bit later, once we've been talking for a while, and says, "Does someone have a red car parked across the street?"
Yeah.
Now I've got more of a burgundy maroon colored car.
Yeah.
Technically it's called, metallic cherry, something crazy.
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah.
It's burgundy. Calm down, guys. So I said, now my car is burgundy.
Yeah.
But let me go outside and take a look. Let me check.
Yeah.
It's not clearly red. Long story short, my car got hit.
Yeah.
My car was in a hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
The guy took out like the back corner.
Smashed the shit out of the car.
Smashed the shit out of the car.
You hit it that hard in a residential area like that.
Yeah, in a residential area too.
Insane, yeah.
I mean, it's a high traffic area where he is, but yeah, how?
Yeah.
How? Well, I mean, I found out how apparently a drunk driver.
Oh, he was? Oh.
I found, yeah. See, I assumed, or, you know, we were talking, this guy was probably, you know, because the car didn't look like it was hit super hard. Like it wasn't hit with speed.
Yeah.
It looked like maybe somebody, he was making the turn and he was on his phone doing something and he just didn't look up. And all of a sudden he just hit the car, just peeled off that back corner.
Yeah.
Right. And then, fortunately, there was somebody out there, a father and son. I don't necessarily want to say their names, you know, on the air kind of thing, but if it weren't for them, they're the MVPs, they're the heroes. They didn't see it happen. At least I don't think they might have, but
they for sure heard it.
Yeah, and they got the guy's license plate, and he took off. Yeah, and they knew the direction he went, and they saw where he stopped, where he parked. So they came. PD was called. They arrested the guy, unfortunately. But yeah, so that was So I'm dealing with that. You know, just dealing with the insurance and all that nonsense. It's always a pain in the ass. Yeah. And then the on top of that, so all this is going on, and the crazy thing is, you, me, RJ, and even RJ's wife, we were out there just making jokes
the whole time.
The whole thing. It's one of the things you either laugh or you cry, and we were just making. Man, we were having that. Accident was the most fun.
Without that circumstance. We were actually having a good time. We were actually coming up with some like funny stuff, some concepts and ideas and things.
It was a good time.
Kind of fun, but it was from a shitty experience though.
Exactly. Saying it's a good time, maybe that's not the right choice.
But making the best of it, I guess.
Yes, making the best of it.
Yeah.
And then also, while that was going on, I felt like something in the back of my throat was like it was like that super dry, scratchy little patch. And when I knew I was starting to get sick, and I was hoping like maybe if I, you know, eat something, do something so it doesn't get all dried out, whatever. Yeah. Next day I was trash. I couldn't, you know, when you try to talk and it hurts kind of thing. That's what I was going through. So I was dealing with that the next day. Turned into congestion. I was like knocked out for at least like for 2 days. I think by the third day, I was starting to come around. That was like on Friday, but man, the week started off. Yeah, it was very cool. It was very cool. But once Tuesday rolled around, car accident and this was like that sick was aggressive. Like I said, I got some time before it gets really bad. Yeah, it got bad like really quick. Really, and I was on my side sleeping. I was it was not great, man. But other than that, you know, hopefully I'm not quite back to 100%. So a little bit congested, but and sweating like a pig. But so that was my week. That was my week, world.
Eventful at least. I guess. Yeah, but yeah, man, those are the things that make us who we are, right?
Yeah, sure. That's add character, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, at this point, like I don't want any more character added. I think I'm cool.
Yeah, right. Can I get a break?
Yeah. I don't think I need any more character. Yeah. But yeah. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, this documentary though.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. It's free on Tubi. If anybody has Tubi, you can download it. It's a free app or whatever. Yeah. So you don't have to pay for it unless you just want to.
Yeah. Just watch a couple ads every here and there. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Tubi's pretty cool, man. They have a lot of cool things on there actually.
Yeah. I was starting to scroll through there. I saw some stuff like, I should check this out.
Right. There's a series on there I want to watch called Reese Darby in Japan. He's just a docu-series of him in Japan. I was like, Reese Darby in Japan, two of my favorite things. So I'm gonna watch that soon. But a real quick shout out. I want to shout out to my my buddy Johnny. He's probably one of the last like friends that I have at my job. I decided to go to my old building in Fontana to cover, and he's now the supervisor there. Okay, so, which is kind of cool for him.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I talked to him a little bit. Got to hang out with him a little bit today. Catch up. He said. He said he watches the podcast all the time, and he's like, man, this is professional. He's like super professional. He's like, I feel like I need to get your autograph. And then he's like, yeah, bringing Hollywood in here. He's like, he's like, it looks really good, super professional. Like, I don't know who does it. I was like, we do it.
Right.
It's just there's nobody behind the camera. It's just me and Mark. Me and Mark do it. So yeah. But yeah. So thanks, Johnny. I hope you know why his wife or his girlfriend is in school getting her master's degree. Ooh, so nice. He's like working pretty hard to support him and his kid, and they're like
he's
figuring it out. But you know they're getting close. She's gonna graduate and do well, I think. So yeah. So
very good, man.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you listening. Sounds like things are going well for you, man. I hope it stays that way.
Absolutely. And I don't think any new followers. Shout out to Vince. Remember Vince who was on for the Dude episode? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he commented on our 1.21 gigawatt video. And he was like, he just wrote like 1.21 gigawatts - Christopher Lloyd. And I was like, you're a man of good taste. Appreciate you. But yeah. And then I don't know why I haven't responded to him yet, but do you remember Jamie? Not Jamie. Oh no, his name was Jamie. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong screen name. Laura. She responded to one of our videos saying,
"Oh, Laura, yeah,
yeah." She said, "Who do
I?" Think she said that she was. Yeah, Jack said that she was going to be saying something soon. I was like, oh boy.
She's like, "Who do I have to complain about this show?" And I was like, I was gonna respond. I didn't have a chance to, but yeah.
Laura is, man, she is gold. Yeah, I'm looking forward to get her on the show one day.
Yeah, she's gonna be a fun time, I think. But yeah, so I saw that, I was like,
Was that about the Flash? No, or which one?
No, it was the bourbon video. We poured the drinks for Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the reel. So
okay,
yeah. I'm not sure what the context was, but yeah. And then AJ the Comic Collector, he wrote, "Do you guys make up these drinks? Awesome! How you guys always have these concoctions."
Yes, we do.
Right off the dome. Yeah, I even named them too myself. Don't Google it though.
Yeah.
Don't Google it.
Just trust us.
Yeah.
Take our word for it. Take our word for it.
But yeah, that's basically it. So on to the show.
Yes.
On to this. Documentary / talk about Comic-Con.
Yes.
So the documentary, I think we're just going to reference a lot because that was really we're using that as a reference point to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody around the world knows what SDCC is, San Diego Comic-Con. It is the biggest Comic-Con of the year. It's one of the original ones, started in 1970.
Yeah.
And it's just this huge event now. In pop culture,
yeah,
call it. Yeah,
right. And it's cool because in the show you get a chance to like kind of briefly see its very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the San Fernando or the Santa Clarita.
The first convention that we went to.
Yeah, that we covered. Man, super humble beginnings. It reminded me so much of that, where it really was a comic book convention.
Yeah,
you had a bunch of different owners, that would brought in all their comic books and said, whatever you're looking for, you can find it here.
Yeah.
And so that still takes place at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And they mentioned this in this documentary, but it's unfortunately, it's kind of buried amongst all the other things that everybody, loves.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Now about the conventions, about talking to having these celebrity interview panels,
right? Yeah,
all these new releases, all the merchandise that comes out.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I'm glad that we did that. That we were able to get an idea of what it was probably like back in the day.
Right, yeah,
when it first started.
How it is now, which is probably completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say it's out of control, but it looks pretty intimidating. There's a lot. I mean, just the sea of humanity.
That's
in there.
Yeah, and what everyone's there for, it's like pretty crazy. Yeah, I remember when I had a chance to go, I think in 2008 or 2009 maybe. And the comic shop that I was at, the time, he convinced me. He was like, it's so commercial now. It's not even about comic books, with all these movies coming out.
Yeah.
So it's not even really a Comic-Con anymore. It's like it's a movie con. And then I was like, that sounds pretty crappy because I care about comic books.
Oh,
and
so you're like, I'm not going to that.
Yeah, so I just didn't go. And I signed up to work. I was gonna go volunteer. So if you get in, you volunteer for 3 hours, you get to have the rest of the day to be in Comic-Con, which is kind of cool.
That's a very good deal.
So I just decided not to do it. Which is stupid.
You're like, take that, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You could have had me.
Yeah, right.
Being an usher.
Exactly. So
at door 32.
Right, but yeah. So that was my closest experience to going to San Diego Comic-Con, and I was kind of realizing that when I was watching this documentary talking about how it's changed so much because of like what's popular now, the media, all that kind of stuff, and that was kind of funny how that kind of went along with what I was feeling at the time, and definitely how I'm feeling now about comic books and comic book movies, that kind of thing. Right. So yeah, but I guess like my version of like the good and the bad of all of this is like, so this documentary specifically. One of the main focuses that I liked a lot was about people that were like chasing their dreams, like the illustrators that wanted to have portfolios reviewed, cosplayers, yeah. And it was kind of like it's kind of encouraging, but also like eye opening in a lot of ways. Like there's this one part, like in the documentary, they're like interviewing like creators and like famous creators like Kirkman and like McFarlane, all those kind of guys, and like Robert Kirkman was like. He's like, this is a great place to learn if you are cut out for this or not. And he's like, and the best case scenario or the best thing that can happen is that if you're not cut out for this, you find out you're not cut out for this, and like this isn't meant for you.
Right.
And I was like, that's pretty brutal, but but that's the truth though. A lot of people don't have that. There's a lot of people that want to do things like that follow their dreams, but sometimes they're just not. You're not cut out for it. You're not the best for it, which is not. It's never good to like tell someone that they're not. Crush their dreams, but. Maybe you're not meant to do certain things. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a way to look inward because there's the two illustrators, and one illustrator does really well. He does really well, and he gets to get some work with the company. But then the other one really didn't do well at all. This
yeah. I mean, seemingly they were almost telling him to go back to scratch, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I kind of saw their point. Like they said, he was a great artist, and you get to see a little bit of his work, and it looks fantastic.
Like, you can draw,
right? Yeah, right, you can draw, but you like he didn't have his own voice. He didn't have his own like style, and like one of the guys said, like there's nothing that says this is the guy's name was Skip.
Yes,
said
Skip,
this. Yeah, there's nothing that says this is Skip.
Right. Yeah.
And again, and to me, because he said he looked at pictures or he looked at whatever.
Yeah,
and
references and stuff.
Yeah, if you're to me, I would think if you're a comic book artist, you can't do that. You have to be able to
draw from
something from your mind or something from your own imagination, essentially, or the collaboration of you and the writer and whoever else to create something brand new. So that was the interesting thing. Like the skill to draw was definitely there, but like drawing like a comic character, or some action sequence, or maybe just not even that, just a talking sequence,
or even like because the other guy had like actual panels and like sequences and stuff, and he kind of said sketches and stuff, so one was more prepared than the other, But then he came to that realization where he's like, a lot of it was my ego. I thought I was here, but I'm not really there. And it was kind of an eye-opening part of the whole experience. And but I loved that about like really chasing your dreams and like not giving up on that, which is so important and relevant, I think. Yeah.
I mean, and it was interesting too. I was thinking like, man, these guys were. I'm not a big. I understand like this is a part of life, but I'm not a huge fan of getting in line to have your hands out to like, please sir, may I have some more, or can I have some, or is this good enough?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's part of the job, I suppose. That's part of the journey to get where you want to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the concept too of kind of doing something, on your own, as opposed to getting in that line and becoming person number, 12,004
Yeah.
to be reviewed, and maybe you're good, maybe you're not, maybe you're okay, maybe the guy that's looking at your stuff is quote unquote having a bad day, maybe he's not seeing how the potential that's there. So I feel like that's a dangerous thing too, especially if you are creative, having your hands out like that. And again, like I know that's part of the process, but I also kind of feel like that's part of the process that society kind of says you have to do. In order for you to get to here, you have to do A, B, C, and D in order to get here. And maybe you don't have to do that. Maybe you can just jump right to D. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's other avenues.
Yeah,
to
but
pursue.
It's kind of like. Now, when did you say that? When was the movie made again?
2011.
Okay. Oh, so yeah. All right, but even then, I mean, it was a little bit after. But that's like the same way the movie industry, how it changed when independent filmmakers started doing their own thing.
Right.
We don't have to go to a studio anymore to tell them to let us make a movie. You know what I mean? Like we can do it on our own. And that kind of seems like that's maybe where it's starting to go. Because at the end of the movie, it says which each of these characters are doing.
Right.
And the one guy was drawing covers for that company. Yeah. And then the other guy was back at the bar that he was tending, but he was working on his own self-produced graphic novel. Right. Well, that's kind of cool.
That's a good way to go.
Maybe that's the avenue, is that you just got to do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the case with a lot of things in this type of industry. The creative industry, in the entertainment.
There, and I got the feeling that there were a lot of gatekeepers, so to speak, and not the gatekeepers in the sense that we think nowadays, where it's just a bunch of fanboys saying like, oh, you can't talk about this thing that I'm into. But it was like the literal gatekeepers, like I am the person you need to talk to get to this next level or to get your foot in this door. There was you saw a lot of that in this, right. And that's not what this whole entire documentary was about.
Not at all.
Know?
Yeah, there's a lot of individual stories in it, which was cool. And they talked a lot about like Comic-Con, like what the experience is like, what people like enjoy about it. Like we started this podcast and we talked about how geek culture is accepting. It's like a place where everyone is welcome, and that's how they kind of painted San Diego Comic-Con as a place like a mecca, but also like a lot of guys were saying, like, I feel like I'm at home, I feel like I'm home. I feel like where I belong, and that's kind of a staple of like geek culture, I think, which was pretty highlighted on.
That's a great feeling too for anybody to have for any kind of thing, even if no matter what it is, whether it's geek culture or whatever kind of culture, it's important. I think most people probably feel that everybody has a place that they can go to where they feel like they're accepted, kind of thing, or they feel like, the thing that they like or that they're into. And I'm not trying to this is not a pass any sort of weird, crazy, illegal kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I just want to be a terrorist. I want to hang out with other terrorists. It's nothing crazy. But if you have something that you're into, and again, like the whole Comic-Con, geek culture, all that kind of stuff, it's great that all these people from all these different types of geek, venues, they can all come here and they're all cool. You know what I mean? If you Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, all these guys, Harry Potter, all these guys can be in there hanging out, watching, some Lego thing. You know what I mean? And everybody is cool. Or they're all watching some anime thing. Everybody, there's no static, there's no tension, everyone's just having a fantastic time, and everybody's welcome. You know?
And I almost feel like there's like nothing else like that. Like,
not really.
Like, is there like a sports convention where like everyone that loves every kind of sport can come to this thing? And
true that. Yeah, because even if you get people within the same sport, like I like the Dodgers or I like the Giants.
That's fine.
We got to punch each other now. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, not to say there's anything like toxic necessarily about that fandom or whatever. If you're into sports, I don't know. Like, that's cool. But like, but literally though, in that sense, and not literally like fighting, but literally in that sense, when you all get together like that, I mean, There is,
there is tension. Sometimes most people don't go there for that, but it's there.
But people that can't handle their alcohol,
right? Yeah, then it kind of
rambunctious. Yeah,
there you go. Good term, good way to put it.
Yeah,
but you don't see that at Comic-Con, you know. So if you are into like anime, if you're into science fiction, if you're into, I mean, there was a guy that was there looking for Kiss, merchandise, or whatever. Right, I thought, Kiss, wow,
okay,
that's you're gonna go for it.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's where it is,
that's where you go.
Take a look. And the guy's like, yeah, dude, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome there.
Right. So. Yeah. And that's like overall that what I was so excited about us going to Comic-Con this weekend is that, like, I don't think there's anything like this. Like, I don't think there's very many things in the world that you can compare this to, like a geek convention and the biggest one in the world. You know,
right?
Like, I feel like that's an experience and something that's going to be really, really cool to see. You know? Yeah.
And again, we've covered different conventions before. You know, we've anime, comic book, whatever the case may be. We've covered them, but this, like you were saying, like, this is the Mecca. This is the main one. This is the one that they're all essentially kind of chasing.
Right. Yeah.
This is the one that put it all on the map.
Right. Yeah.
You know, this is the one that all the movie studios flock to, so they can start to premiere.
Right.
You know,
all these other cons, I imagine, wouldn't be around.
I agree.
If 100%. It was for San Diego Comic-Con.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to go do this, man, I cannot wait. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you wanted to say about the documentary?
It's really great to watch, just to kind of get a feel for it. And again, it's just a little taste because they're really covering people and their adventure at Comic-Con. You know, there's this great line where one of the guy that owns, and I've seen that Mile High Comics. I see that guy, like, I don't know if I've seen that guy necessarily, but I've seen Mile High Comics.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest
everywhere. Every convention I go to, you know, you always see them there.
Yeah.
But I love this line that he had where he's talking about Nicolas Cage, and this is back then. He's with this woman that said, you should get rid of your stuff and grow up, and he got rid of it, and he's all, man, there's 3 billion women in the world. There's only so many great comics. So it's like, you need to get rid of her. Yeah, she needs to go.
Right, yeah, because he said, like, if a girl tells you need to sell your comics, time to get a new girl.
Time to get a new girl. Right. Yeah.
But
I love that line, though, man. 3 billion women in the world. There's only a few great comic books. You know what I mean? So it's like,
you got it, man.
You
got it. Yeah, which is cool. And I liked him too because he was kind of like the living not so much in the past, but like he was there for the
he was that OG, you know, and a lot of those original, that was a paper towel. That was a paper towel.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys that are at the Comic-Con, the comic book convention, they are there to deal with comic books, and that was the root of it. They were the ones that built the house,
right?
You know, and now they have to deal with all these other people coming in, you know, that have basically kind of, it's like a whole bunch of people just moved into your house, you know, and they're crowding you out,
right?
You know?
Yeah, and they're not there for they're not there
and they're not even there for you. They're not even there for the comic books,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
A few people maybe, but I can't imagine going to San Diego Comic-Con. Well, some people will definitely go to San Diego Comic-Con looking for comic books. Like going to a smaller comic book convention, definitely. But I mean, that makes sense. There will be some. There will definitely be some people that are out there looking for that. But it's changed a lot,
most definitely
from that.
Yeah, I like, man. There's like great. I think this is kind of the bads, but Seth Green was interviewed in there a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, he's like, whenever you have something that's amazing and then corporations see that they can exploit it, that's what happens. That's what happened to Comic-Con. Like all these companies and like businesses and like Hollywood came in.
Right.
And, like there's a market over here.
Yeah.
We can capitalize on it. And like absolutely they did. That's what happened.
Right.
And that's where we are now in this day and age. It's like the result of that capitalization on this area, this genre or whatever, or this type of thing, you know? Yeah. So
and it's turned into this is not a weird thing, but it turned into this weird thing where now that's how movies get premiered. You know, and they mentioned this in the documentary that they they're trying to get kind of this grassroots thing going with the movie and the premiere, and people, you know, they're trying to create buzz about it and for it. And I mean, it's a cool thing because it is. That's a fun thing to see and to hear and to be a part of and to witness. It's kind of weird that it kind of got piggybacked onto a comic book convention. You know, a lot of these things that they are premiering, they are based on comics. Some of them, but not all of them. You know, so it's just so weird that it's turned into that. You know, and
it's kind of good and bad because it's like something that we love is getting noticed and like money's being like infused into it. So which means, you know, more products, more things, more.
But it just seems like the people that I don't feel like they're the ones. They're not getting any of the reward for that. You know, like the whole trickle down theory kind of thing. It's not trickling down to them. Right.
Like remember that convention that we went to and we met what was it, Lane Wayne, the guy who created the Hulk and created the Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was just sitting at this small table by himself with like this
I know
little
that drove me nuts.
And there's just he had a couple comic books that he had, you know, made, and like, why is this guy not like leading the freaking panels and like with the X-Men panel or whatever, you know, why is this guy not like a multi, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he was and he was like modest, but he really seemed like he was just an old guy, like that was
this is by. How he's making his living now. You know,
I know he passed away recently, but like,
oh wow,
but but when we saw him, I was like, man, this guy is a freaking icon, and he's over here in the corner. Artist alley, you know what I mean? Yeah, which I was like, that's kind of a bummer. So like, it's not like making these guys huge, you know? Like, you think all these amazing stories getting adapted, all these amazing characters getting put on the big screen. Why wouldn't they get a piece of the puzzle? Or a piece of the pie? But it's because, you don't really own it. You made it, and we own it, so we get the money.
That's how. Yeah, that's how it works. And blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, I am 100% not a fan. Of that,
right? Yeah,
you know? But that's a whole other a whole other thing.
But it kind of like just ties in like what's good about it being popular, but also what's bad about it being popular. You know?
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
Kind of that's like a big argument for me with the Marvel movies and now DC movies. They're just kind of watered down. You know, really just like Hollywood, like big budget movies with no substance. You know, so yeah, it's kind of a bummer that's where it's going. But you know, who knows? Well, maybe it'll turn around someday. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. One thing I will say really quick, too, is I think two big standouts in that documentary were Kevin Smith.
Oh, man.
Kevin Smith is fantastic. Yeah. And you know what? The cool thing is they do interview a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
And some of them are so like amazingly grounded. Some of them, I mean, as far as we can tell anyway.
Yeah.
But I say some of them they really are geeks. They really are, you know, fans of, you know, the comic book industry. You know what I mean? Right. A lot of these directors. Seth Green met his wife at Comic-Con.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
Nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, they had some big, like Seth Rogen was in there. Yeah. Edgar Wright, my personal hero. Edgar Wright was in there for a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, not a lot, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with Seth Rogen, I mean, Seth Rogen has, you know, since that point had produced a couple of TV shows based on comic books.
Right, yeah. And I didn't realize how big of a comic book fan he is. Yeah. And a geek fan. Like, and he's there. His company now is producing a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah, quite a bit of them. So, like The Boys.
Preacher.
Preacher.
I don't know if they're still doing
Invincible.
that.
Yeah, a lot of comic book properties. And now they're doing TMNT, so he seems like he's a geek at heart, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah. Very cool. And then but with Kevin Smith though too, you get a chance to see him and just kind of hear his opinions and his takes. Like I said, everybody stands out. Everybody does a great job. All these famous people, but he does a great job. And then when you hear him interacting with some people that had something else going on in their lives, if you watch the documentary, which we recommend. Or I say we'll recommend.
For sure, yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but man, he comes off as so next level cool.
Right.
Next level cool.
Right, yeah. That's not like Kevin Smith is like, so I mean, I don't love sorry, Kevin Smith. I don't love every one of his movies like to death.
Sure.
But like Kevin Smith is the guy that I always like saw myself being like being a super nerd into geek culture, but also a filmmaker. You know what I mean? That's my dude. You know, if I was to be anybody, I want to be Kevin Smith.
Right on.
Being a geek icon, also a awesome filmmaker, like that guy is like my hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So seeing him in this, seeing him in this was great. You know what I mean?
He's
fantastic.
He was awesome. He was awesome. And then the other thing, man, is, and this is it's so unfortunate that Stan Lee is gone. He was such a great ambassador for geek culture, comic books, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You get to see a little bit of him in this.
Yeah.
And he stands out just as much. I mean, he is amazing. That as famous as he is, he still seems like, and again, a camera was on him. I get that.
Yeah, image to keep.
But I feel like I've always like seen and or heard this about him, that he loves meeting the fans and he's one of those guys that he loves the stuff that he created. It wasn't just, something to pay a bill for him.
Right, yeah.
It was something that he loved and he enjoyed and he embraced wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And then when you see him talking with fans and interacting with fans and he's walking down the lane.
It's quick
you're the man, Stan. So you're right.
I share your opinion. I share that opinion. So
I can't argue. Just all the stuff he's saying.
Very quick-witted,
as he's going down the line.
Yeah, and the way that he was like talking to like the younger kids and stuff, and the way he was fans at the table. Yeah. It seems like I know I've heard things about him being grumpy sometimes, but he was older and he was like going to these conventions all day, man. Sure. But can't ever like what the guy did not, and I forget about it sometimes too, like how important he was, how important he was to what we have now. Yeah, like how for creating Marvel and all the biggest characters, these big huge characters we all know and love, he was incredibly important to the culture, you know what I mean? And that was cool to see him in that. Yeah. And made me really like I sometimes I forget that he's gone. I forget that happened. I forget who he was and all kind of stuff. But I saw that. I was like, man, that guy's gone. Yeah. That guy's gone.
Right. Man. And he is such a great front person for all of this. The
charisma. And he was he was Jack Kirby, they say was the real talent with the drawing.
Definitely with the drawing,
a lot of the stories and characters that he created, but you gotta have a front man. He was the front, exactly. He was the front man. He was the face of Marvel, and for great reason. Yeah. So, that was cool. So documentary is great, man. And it's got me really excited. So before we wrap up, what is like one of the biggest things you're excited for Comic-Con?
Oh, wow. You know what? I want to talk to as many people as a big a variety of people as we can. I want to talk to, I know that it's not going to be filled with as many like celebrities and famous people probably as normal, because there's a lot going on right now with the writer's strike and everything else going on. Yeah. So it's not going to be quite as star-studded, but I would love to be able to speak with maybe some kind of big name, within the industry or a star, but I also want to be able to speak with a person that's just, walking down the aisle, looking at stuff. You know what I mean? I want to be able to talk to the highest of the high and the lowest of the low, and everything else in between, and just get their take and their opinions on all of this that's happening. Yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to, just having a dialogue with all kinds of people.
Yeah, putting together our own documentary Comic-Con. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What about you?
Same. I think. Really, I really don't know. I'm excited, very excited to go. But conventions have changed over the years. Since I went to my first con, I think in 2004, which was Anime Expo in LA, and that was the most amazing experience of my life. And I couldn't stop going to conventions after that. And then the last one I went to was LA Comic-Con maybe 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was kind of a zoo. Like
yeah,
I didn't quite. Yo, you were there for that. I saw you there for like 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was I didn't really have fun there. I made a video about how much I love cons.
Yeah.
I was shooting the vlogs then, but I didn't really have that much fun because it was like freaking.
I spent most of the time in line. I swear.
Yeah. It took me 3 hours just to get into the
just
thing,
to get in.
Yeah,
just to get in.
Pain in the ass. So so I'm not saying I'm wary or anything, but like I want to go mostly to check it off, right? Say that I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, biggest convention, and then see what it's all about. Try to find that experience that everyone talks about.
Yeah,
and then meet a lot of people, get some good footage, talk to people, and kind of like learn about what everyone else's experiences are. But I am also, that's in the back of my mind, is like conventions aren't what they were when I was really in love with them, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're going down there with Henry so he can hopefully show us around a little bit.
Yeah, true that.
And it's going to be, either way, it's going to be an experience. I think I'm going to have some fun at least.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe do a little bit of kind of perusing, maybe a little bit of shopping.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to spend a whole lot.
I'm not either, but I'm still trying to collect all the lanterns. So if they have at least the green or maybe the white lantern, I might see if I can slide a little cash towards that.
Right. Very cool.
Otherwise,
you never know what you're going to find there. Like something you didn't even think you might have wanted to have or you thought existed.
Right.
You'll turn around, you'll see it there, and it's going to make your jaw drop.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens like all the time at conventions.
Right.
I'll see something like, what is that?
Yeah, it's because it's the biggest concentration of stuff that you love, right?
Yeah.
And so you'll find, exactly, things you didn't even know existed. Like I went to like Pure Blades in the mall.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Superman False God statue was even a thing. And I saw it and I was like, I need it. No hesitation. Like I need that. Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, the Comic-Con. I'm gonna do my best to not spend a lot of money either. Yeah. But I mean,
it's just going and looking. Yeah. Just going and looking and seeing. Yeah. Like everything is bright and colorful and you're seeing things that you have not seen before. Yeah. It's like it's a guarantee you're gonna see something you have not seen before.
Yeah, 100%.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Most definitely. That's exciting too.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much money I spend, but I'll try not to spend much, but we'll see. But yeah. Otherwise, should we do anything this week? Do that? Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Yeah, do it. Let's do it.
I'm watching Shippuden again.
Okay. Yeah, I know you were kind of out of you were falling behind. You stopped watching and you started watching.
Got back into it. Okay. I really do enjoy the show, man. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's a good show. I just got to the first set of filler episodes. I'm trying to decide if I should watch the fillers or not. But yeah, Shippuden's pretty great. I hate
the fillers.
Yeah, right. But Shippuden's awesome, man. I freaking love that show. And then just really excited for Mission Impossible 7. I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Okay, right on.
I think I said that last week, but I'm gonna try to catch it this weekend. I don't know if I'll have time, but hearing a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, this weekend, this coming weekend.
I guess my weekend's tomorrow.
You're okay. I got you.
So I'm gonna try to squeeze it in, but I don't know if I'll have time.
Got it.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's all I'm into, really.
That's cool. Let's see. I don't think I watched too much. I was down for a couple days. Yeah. But somehow for whatever reason, I said, let me turn this on and watch a little bit of it. I started kind of binge watching Game of Thrones. And I thought I would never watch Game of Thrones again because one, it's so effing long. Right. And I've seen it before. I know all the high points, or you know what I mean, all the stuff that happened. So I said, I'm not going to watch this again. I started watching it again. I went through like 4 seasons.
Oh shit! Really?
4 seasons.
Jeez.
Of a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And no, it's still great because you do remember like a lot of the big, the big points, but you don't necessarily remember when they happened. And then there's a lot of stuff that happens in between that you're like, oh yeah, there's that. And it's cool, having seen the show and then going back and looking at it again because now you have a better idea of what to look for. Right. Things to be aware of while you're watching it. Yeah. Little things like that and things you missed before, like Joffrey's wedding. like how it went down. It's like, oh, okay, that's where that happened, which led to that. And you see it. Like, once you know what's going to happen and the chain of events, you don't see it originally. Not originally. But then when you're watching it again, you know what's going to happen. It's like, oh, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. It was all right there. It was all right there.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So it's a ton of fun.
Okay.
A ton of fun. So
sweet.
Yeah. Don't regret it, man. It's fantastic. But other than that, that's about it.
All right. Well, I guess that's gonna be it then, huh?
Let's
wrap this up, man.
Let's wrap this bad boy up.
So thank you guys for checking us out. As always, we're gonna be at Comic-Con next week, so we won't be in the studio. We're gonna record an episode there.
Yeah.
And we're excited to do that. But otherwise, thank you guys for checking us out as usual.
Yeah.
If you guys want to leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify, 5-star review on Apple, that'd be great. That really helps us out. Check us out at the Gots Pod on all of our social medias, except for Facebook, which is Geek Off The Street, and YouTube, Geek Off The Street as well. We're everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
Content comes out every single day, basically, and you guys are so fortunate to be in an age where you can see something from us every single day.
Right. He said modestly.
Yeah. But otherwise, that's going to do it. We're going to be at Comic-Con, so we're going to have a lot of fun.
Man, we're so excited. Yeah. Be there with us to enjoy it with us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to get some great stuff, man.
And if you see me get arrested, it'll be because I tried to swim to Kevin Smith's yacht to jump on his IMDb whatever thing that he does every year. So,
Maybe we'll get the invite, man.
Yeah, maybe
we'll get the invite.
That'd be cool, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, Kev. Help us out, man.
Reach out, man.
Help us out, man. Yeah, cool. But anyway, I guess that's going to be it.
Yes.
I'll see you guys next week at Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's going to be here.
We're excited.
Cannot wait.
And you're coming with us. You're coming with us.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
But otherwise, my name's Trent.
And my name is Mark.
And this is
Geek Off The Street.
That was good.
Man.
Yeah.
It's fucking going down.
Yeah. It's happening, man. We're days.
Going down.
We're days away, man. Cannot wait.